Alright, folks, we are live, rolling some putts and tracking this insane Hurricane Milton. I'm watching and listening to some live coverage as I go here. Hurricane Milton is scary. I know. Are you watching this? Are you watching the storm, Patrick? I saw you commented a couple times. I'll have to get back to you after this is over. If you guys notice, once you get in here, I added some flashcards. I guess you can kind of see them a little bit along the track over here, just to increase the slope down this way a little bit. Balls were getting stuck in the middle yesterday, and I added this mat here just so my knees and my back don't get quite as sore just standing here. I was, but I went to this live stream. Yeah, so I was gonna tell people, this probably is the only time that I'll tell you guys to go watch something else, but there's probably about 10, at least that I know of, 10 people live streaming right now from right where the hurricane's about to hit in Florida. So I have the YouTube channel Twister Chasers. This guy's name's like Jeff. His last name is something with like a P, but I'm watching that channel. This guy's driving around like Sarasota right now. Reed Timmer is live. There's a bunch of people. Trying out 6 golf balls too. Allegedly, someone was in here the other night and said that they read an Amazon review and they said it works better with 6 balls. I tested it out just a little bit before and it seemed like there was still some balls that got stuck, so I don't know about the whole 6 ball thing, but we'll try it out. It's not like don't have the golf balls to try it. Stuff is getting wild down there in Florida right now. And this is kind of what happened before with the six golf balls. I feel like 3 might have been the sweet spot, but if these keep getting stuck like this, I'll just go back to 3. I heard it was almost going to be the second biggest. Yeah, they were saying like 1 in a 100-year storm, at least for that, like Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area. The coverage that I was watching before said if this ends up, I mean, it's crazy because they're obviously trying to track a live storm, so they don't know exactly where it's going to hit, so they have kind of like what they call a cone of uncertainty. But if it ends up being like worst case scenario for Tampa Bay, it's literally going to cause hundreds of billions of dollars of damage. But it looks like it's going to come, make landfall. We should be getting pretty close. About the eye of the hurricane, they were saying around 8 p.m., so maybe 45 minutes to an hour. It's supposed to make landfall south of Tampa. There's wherever this is going to hit, and slightly south of it is going to be 10 to 15 feet, possibly up to 20 feet of storm surge, meaning that the regular high tide levels, the water is going to be 15 feet above that, plus massive waves that are crashing on top of that. So literally houses along the coast, you'll have 15 feet of water up on the building or on the house, and then waves crashing, big waves at that, crashing on top of that. It's not the most powerful storm by any means, but for this area, the storm surge is going to be crazy. Because I mean, for a while it was a Category 5. It went down to a Category 4, and I think it's going to make landfall as a Category 3. But all right, Katie, that's your first warning. I can't read that, so another message like that, I'm going to have to start timing people out. Hello? What's up, Very Fun Times? That's how you say hello. Yeah, Patrick McMaster, exactly. Honestly, I don't even know how they could send that message. Usually, like, there's like filters on YouTube. Hit the like button on the video if you don't mind. Get the stream out to a couple more people. Can you give me a shout out? Shout out to Callie the City Girl. What's up? Ellie, hi. How are you? Anyone watching this Hurricane Milton coverage like myself? Hopefully, if you're in Florida, you're thanks for being a good person. Very fun times. I mean, I try. OMG, thank you. Can you say Bentley, Eric, Diana, and Jessica? Well, there you go. Bentley, Eric, Diana, and Jessica. I'm not so sure about this whole 6-ball theory. Can you say kumquat? I can. Jeremy Collins. Kind of defeats the purpose of the math. I gotta go over there and unclog it every single time. I guess he was good with putting, but I can never get the perfect speed. Yeah, lag putting's kind of tough. What's it, 6-ball theory? I was using just 3 balls most of these streams, but someone said they went on Amazon and read one of the reviews, and someone was saying that they found it works the best with 6 balls, but they still seem to get stuck a little bit over there. If one ball happens to kind of turn a little bit sideways and kind of jam up that little ramp over there, whether it's 3 balls or 6 balls, it's not going to matter. Again, highly encourage you guys to go check out some of these storm chasers that are down in Florida chasing this hurricane right now. They literally drive into the eye of the hurricane and live stream it. It's crazy. Poo Poo, what's up, Ronnie or Ronan? Doing any of the channels offhand. I'm in Florida right now. Hopefully you evacuate if you're in an evacuation zone. Right now I'm watching and listening to the YouTube channel called Twister Chasers. He's driving around right now filming, but Reed Timmer is a big one. There's probably like 10 to 20 people right now live streaming. JLR Investigates is one of them. I like him. He's not really like, a lot of these guys are meteorologists that actually know what they're doing. JLR kind of just goes around and like investigates like big stories, but he's still, from what I've seen, still driving around. But Twister Chasers, I like this Jeff guy. He's fun to listen to. I think we're getting, yeah, stay safe for sure. Where are you, Jeremy? Did you evacuate? Or are you not in a spot that's gonna get hit real hard? Landfall is supposed to be like 8 p.m., so we'll see. Like the outer bands and everything are definitely hitting now, and conditions are pretty bad. But as far as like the eye of the hurricane, it's when the eye makes it onto landfall is when they call it official. I'm out of the way. It'll be okay for me at least. That's good. Hopefully your house and all your property and everything's fine, and hopefully anyone else that was in an evacuation zone, hopefully they actually got out. That storm surge is going to be crazy. In some areas, they're saying 10 to 15 feet, possibly up to 20 feet, meaning that normal high tide, the water is going to be 15 feet higher than that, plus these massive waves breaking on top of that 15 feet. So you could have, in theory, 15, 20-foot waves on top of the 15 feet of storm surge. So you're talking about a couple stories up in the air of water crashing into houses. They call it catastrophic storm surge for a reason. That's almost near impossible to survive. What's the wind speed supposed to be? Before, like I was saying, so it was strengthening, kind of weakened, strengthened again, and now it's weakening again. Before the max speeds were up to like 185. I'm not sure right now what they're at. There's a difference too between, obviously, like you're saying, max speed. So those are like, they consider those like wind gusts, max wind gusts, or just like sustained wind. So you could have like, there's gonna be portions where there's 100-mile-an-hour sustained wind, mean like constant 100-mile-an-hour wind with wind gusts up to like 125. Geez, yeah. They literally, it'll like possibly in some areas tear like roofs off of houses. They call it missile projectiles. So it'll literally pick stuff up in the wind and shoot it 125 miles an hour in one direction or another. Hurricanes are very scary, but that's why they tell you, as a general rule of thumb, if you're in an evacuation zone, you run from the storm surge and you hide from the wind. But if that's not bad enough, there's going to be portions of Florida that get almost 2 feet of rain within a couple-hour period. So you're going to have flooding from the storm surge. We're also going to have tons of flooding, kind of what happened in similar, I guess, kind of to North Carolina. They got a ton of flooding, but there's going to be other portions where the flooding from the rain is really bad as well. Twister Chasers just, his stream went down, but he just came back. Like I said, Reed Timmer is really good too. Reed Timmer's driving around with 2 other meteorologists in a Subaru. How bad will be in Fort Lauderdale? I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist by any means, so don't listen to me. But the hurricane, they call it a wobble. The hurricane's basically wobbling and kind of tilting as it's making its way towards the land. So it all depends where exactly it hits. You definitely don't want to be anywhere on the coast. You want to be, I would assume, bare minimum 10 to 20 miles inland. But if you guys were looking at some of this stuff, there was like dozens of tornadoes from these winds. There was dozens of tornadoes that spun up throughout the course of today. There's going to be more of those, so wherever the eye of the hurricane hits, the worst storm surge is going to be just south and east of it. That's going to be the worst of it. There's already power cables exploding, trees falling into power lines causing big explosions. Yeah, bro, tornado in Weston close to me. You gotta be careful. Gotta make sure. I know a lot of people in Florida tonight aren't gonna get much sleep, but you gotta be careful. If one of those tornadoes kind of spin up pretty quick and they move really fast, so if you get one of those tornado warnings, get to a interior portion of your house. Usually say like in a bathtub or something. Explosions, yeah, from trees and other debris literally getting blown over from the wind and hitting the power lines. I'll be running around my room right now. Yeah, these Storm Chaser live streams are sick. It's like live PD. I know, I mean, it's terrible watching all the destruction that's going to happen, but these guys they literally, I'm watching one of them right now and listening to it. These guys are nuts. They do it from tornadoes and the hurricanes, I think. I've never experienced a tornado, luckily, but I've been in a few hurricanes, so I like watching these because I kind of have some perspective. But they literally drive into the eye of the storm. And it's crazy, too, when the eye goes over you, wherever you are, if you happen to be in that path, it literally, you get hit with a ton of wind and rain and flying debris and everything on the front end, and then for like 20 minutes as the eye wall moves over you, it's literally like, right now it's dark, but it's like clear sky, all the wind dies down, all the rain stops. If it's daytime, sometimes the sun comes out, and then you get hit by the entire backside of the storm. Reed Timmer is really good if you guys are looking for someone. He's driving around there right now. Brandon Kopic, I think, is one of them. I'm watching Jeff, who is Twister Chasers on YouTube. He's live streaming right now. I usually don't tell you guys to leave this one, but this would be a good one. Good time if you, the one and only time I'll tell you to leave this and go watch something else. They've been saying all week, like, these winds, they can literally, like, pick up, like, a car or, like, mobile homes or, like, trailers or whatever. You can literally, like, pick them up in the air and send them flying. And although it's only currently supposed to make landfall at a Category 3, the highest is a Category 5. This storm was previously a Category 5 and a Category 4, and although it's going to hit possibly as a Category 3 to the coast, as far as like wind speeds and everything, it has a Category 5 and a Category 4 worth of storm surge behind it. I have one of those putting green things, but a little bit smaller. It only has the big hole. I got this thing. I got a good deal on this. This was only 30 bucks on Amazon. We were looking last night. I think it's up to 40, 45.99 for the same mat. I must have caught it for a short term, one of those like deals that they do on Amazon. I don't really use that smaller hole much, but it's nice. I guess it was kind of built into it. You afraid of Milton? It doesn't sound like a scary name. It's not about the name, dog. It's about the 15 feet of storm surge and the 100+ mile an hour winds. Dang, that's a good deal. Might not be intimidating, but it's very strong. It's definitely intimidating, and you should not be on the coast if you're in Florida. They call it catastrophic wind and storm surge for a reason, meaning if you're in the path of this thing and you didn't evacuate, one, if you don't get severely injured by the storm itself, two, if you had any kind of injury or medical emergency, there's no crews that are going to be able to come out and get you. So, like, all these roads are going to be damaged and closed, bridges are going to be broken. There's going to be streets and entire roads, blocks of houses that'll be completely underwater. There literally won't even be a road there anymore. Plus, if that isn't bad enough, a lot of these places along the coast already got hit. That was like less than 2 weeks ago from Helene. That was like, what, a week and a half ago? They just got hit. I'm on the coast in Florida and stayed. I'll be okay. I'm not afraid of a little bit of water. I feel so bad for the people in Florida, especially Tampa. Tampa seems like now it's going to hit south of them, so they'll be at least a little bit spared. It would have been the worst for Tampa if it hit just north of them, and the strongest storm surge is just slightly south of that. So it looks like Tampa will be somewhat spared, but people in like Sarasota, Osprey, Venice, all those houses are going to get demolished along the coast, and even like up to a couple miles inland. And Chuck Nolte, if you're not trolling, I really hope you're not on the coast of Florida. They had mandatory evacuations for a reason. Did you guys see? I was watching some news coverage earlier, and they were covering Lieutenant Dan, who's this dude in Florida. He's on his boat in Tampa. He has one leg, and he's saying he was going to stay in his boat and ride out the storm. He's been going viral. Don't get me wrong, there's still going to be billions of dollars of damage worth of, or billions of dollars of damage in Tampa and around there. But it looks like, as far as like worst case scenario, they're going to be slightly better off than absolute worst case scenario. I live on a boat too. This ain't my first rodeo. Don't worry. Hey, you're playing with your own fate. So I just hope everyone took the warnings to evacuate. And if you're actually on a boat in the coast of Florida, you're probably getting whacked by some pretty strong winds and storm surge. So you're likely not on this live stream watching me putt. So. $80-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 100 where Jeff is right now. I live for this. It's all good. I'm eating a PB&J. Really, for your sake, I hope you're trolling. But if not, be careful, Mr. Chuck. I get it not being your first rodeo if you're being legit, but I don't know, this is possibly going to hit as a Category 3, but it's been up to a Category 5 for a while and down to a Category 4, so there's a Category 4 and 5 worth of storm surge right behind it, even though that the winds and the pressure levels won't be quite at that level when it hits. Whoever said that before, though, about the storm chasers, they are a different breed, because you cannot pay me enough to go drive into the eye of this hurricane right now. They were out there like 2 weeks ago in Helene, too. Tom Roscos, what part do you have? I have a Odyssey White Hot Versa 1. Can you see that? There's a Super Stroke Tour 2 grip on it. Love this putter. Sarasota's about to get rocked. This is also twice in a row where these two hurricanes, Helene and Milton, are hitting at night, which is way worse than if they were to make landfall during the day. From a survivability, recoverability standpoint. I have family down in Florida right now, but they're at least far enough inland and they're a little bit north, so they should be alright. They got to worry about a ton of rain coming their way, which is already there, but at least they don't have to worry about as severe the winds and the crazy storm surge along the coast. Ooh, lip out on the big hole into the small hole. Wesley Pate. Jesus is coming back. The return of the king is near. Don't be left behind. That guy, Lieutenant Dan on TikTok, was kind of talking about that. He was like, "Have you ever heard of Noah's Ark?" He was in a boat. That's what I'm doing. He said God was guiding him. Do me a favor if you can, like the video. Maybe we can get the stream out to a couple more people. Anyone in here? Have you caught any of my previous live streams, or is this the first one? Doesn't seem like we have any of the usual suspects in here from the past couple streams. Other hole, Danny NG. If you guys see, this hole's fine. But the problem is the track is kind of close to it and the balls come out there, so I have to move up a little bit. And there's a little bit of a uneven little lump there, so it kind of gets a little wonky on that side. But I'll make at least one on the other hole. There you go. I was in the last one. Black Cloud, what's up? Saw your live stream yesterday of you hitting low stingers outside. That's weird though, Black Cloud. You mentioned you weren't getting any notifications. There's been a couple other people that have said the same thing. Not just for videos in general, but other live streams. They said that they never got notified. So I don't know what the deal is. Kind of sucks. I got notified, so maybe people didn't get notified. Silent mode on the phone. Yeah, I don't know. There's been a couple different instances when that's happened. used to watch your Home to Hero videos all the time. I subbed and turned on all notifications, and then your videos never appeared on my feed. Very odd. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or do not disturb. No, Patrick, other people were saying, so like Black Cloud mentioned that, and then other people were saying over the past couple days when I've gone live that they came in on like a later stream and said, I mean, I was telling people I was going to go outside and play like GS Pro for a live stream, and they were looking forward to it, and they said they never got notified, so I don't know if maybe YouTube's playing some tricks or something. But Black Cloud, the fact that the last time you saw was Home to Hero, that was I switched over to GS Pro in April, so that's been months and months and months. That's been what, like 6 months? Holy smokes, that's insane. I was just thinking your videos the other day before I rediscovered them again. GS Pro appeared in my feed. YouTube have been acting up for a long time. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. You like to think that if you put the time in and effort to either do a live stream or put a video out there, that people actually that intended to get notified when I post something would actually get those notifications. But I mean, unfortunately, there's no way for me to tell one way or the other. So it's just like people like you and other people that have said things seem a little bit off. But my YouTube is super slow. I click on a video, it takes forever to load. It's only in the app that my phone is slow. Huh. Yo, what's up, Jody Bates? Something came up and I wasn't able to go outside today to hit any balls, but I hit a bunch yesterday, so I was kind of sore anyways. But thinking about maybe going live tomorrow afternoon and doing a GS Pro live stream. So, speaking of notifications, if you want to possibly tune into that, make sure your notifications are on, and hopefully they actually work. Have you been golfing in real life and doing videos like last year? I shot an 80 on Sunday. That's my PB. Maybe next year I'll break 80. What a way to end my third year of golf. That's awesome, man. Congrats on the 80. I don't know if I'll get out again this year. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing. I played all throughout the spring, summer, but definitely primarily, I play probably 90% of my golf just on the simulator because it's obviously at my house, right out in the backyard. You don't have to schedule tee times. Don't have to go and spend 40, 50, $60 on a round of golf. But yeah, I've been playing. I actually, I had my best year this year as well. Um, last, well, or not last, but in June I went down to Florida and I shot a 78 on 18. I went 3 over on the front, 3 over on the back. That was my best 18-hole score. And then about a month or so ago here, I shot 2 under on 9 holes, and I shot 1 under on 9 holes. So score-wise, it's been one of my best years. And again, considering I don't play that much on course anymore, I credit a lot of that to my simulator rounds and practicing hitting balls and whatnot. I have to do homework. I'll be back after my homework. Spanish. Have fun. I took Spanish in school. I used to kind of be able to talk it and understand it and read it and write it, but you got to upgrade to a better simulator. Skytrack Plus is light years ahead of the R10. Maybe I should have bought the FlexGo Plus because I haven't left. Oh, because I have left-handed friends. I've been thinking about it. Back when I got GS Pro back in April, I was very seriously considering the MLM2 Pro. So I was kind of down between either upgrading the R10 or keeping the R10 for a little bit longer and getting GS Pro. And so far, I've been pretty happy with the GS Pro decision. But I've been hearing rumors and some whispers of Garmin announcing and basically unveiling a new unit this coming January at the PGA show. So I'm kind of hoping on that. Kind of hoping that it's a very upgraded unit from the R10 at a somewhat reasonable price without an outrageous subscription fee like the MLM2 has. And I did a video a couple months back. If you type in Garmin R50, I found the patent online and like pictures and like it described the unit. So I think I kind of got a sneak peek by finding that patent from Garmin, and I think it's going to be a hybrid unit that basically similar to the SkyTrack. It's going to be like a cross view, so it'll have the camera based for pretty much everything that the SkyTrack does, but I think it'll also have radar for club speed and ball speed. But I mean, GS Pro kind of turns the R10 into a new unit, so it's good enough for now. I don't see, there hasn't been, at least for me, a clear-cut winner for like a no-brainer type of upgrade. Yeah, I could just like throw money at a new unit, but I'm kind of waiting. The fact that I have the R10, kind of just waiting for something that like comes out on the market at a price point and like features-wise and everything that makes me say, wow, I really have to have this thing, if that makes sense. But definitely jealous of the more accurate SkyTrack. And even like the MLM2 Pro would be sweet, but the fact that you have to pay $200 a year to basically even be able to use it, it's just so off-putting. They basically put their unit that you spent $700 on behind a paywall, so you have to pay $200 a year to use it, and then like for me for GS Pro, that's an extra $250 a year just to be able to play, which is stupid. A ton of new simulators coming out, Launchbox exclusively made by people who created E6. Oh really? That looks really good. There's another being developed from a guy I follow on YouTube. That's pretty sweet. Let's go. What's up, Ted Golding? In addition to the game of golf, kind of like playing sim golf over real golf. Yeah, I know. I feel you on that. Obviously, there's nothing like being out on course, but sim golf is pretty awesome. The fact that you can play all these different courses around the world. Yeah, you're paying for it, and simulators aren't cheap, but for like a round by round basis, it's free, and you can play it in a fraction of the time. The ball got stuck? Yeah, I know. I switched to 6 balls tonight. Someone read a Amazon review that said I was using 3 balls, and someone suggested using 6 balls, and it works a lot better. But I don't know about all that. In Black Hot, I recently saw a new unit came out. It's called like Square Golf. It's kind of like almost like a smaller like rectangular unit. Addiction I meant? Yeah, I know. Oh, it's an addiction? This game of golf? Yeah, I know. Kind of like playing sim golf better. I saw a couple videos about the Square. It's like Square launch monitor or something like that came out. It's like I think $600 or something like that, and there's no like no subscription fees. So unfortunately, they say it's for indoor only, so I want to be able to use it. But that's why I need to like be able to upgrade. I need to have a pretty clear winner to where you can use it outside. Um, Ideally, like 1500 would probably be right in the area where I would like pretty strongly consider it. But if it's under 1500, if there's no yearly subscription to be able to use GS Pro, if I can use it outside and it's like somewhat portable, that's what I'm looking for. And obviously higher accuracy than what the Garmin has. Also, it would be really nice if the unit can, I know I'm getting picky, but if I can just use whatever balls I want and not have to buy like a RCT ball or like the Callaway RPT ball with like the dots on it. But that's what I'm hoping for. I saw that one Square unit. It's more rectangular than anything. I saw a guy using GS Pro with it. I like the large hitting area of the Garmin. Yeah, I mean it's nice. Black Cloud was just saying he has a SkyTrack, but he was kind of wishing he maybe have got the Mevo Flight Scope, whatever it was, Plus, because he has some lefty friends. But that's the one good thing about the solely radar units that are behind you, so you can easily switch if you have lefties that play. At this point, I feel like I know the R10 so well. I know if I hit something and it feels kind of like a duck hook, or if I feel like, all right, that was a pop up and it shows slightly different. At least I know it's probably a misread, but it's still probably 8-9 shots out of 10. I think is pretty darn accurate. And then it's just those couple weird wonky reads that you may get, or just the spin axis if like you slice one or hook one off the planet. Garmin will reduce the side spin, but for the most part, it's pretty good. SkyTrack Plus, you can use any ball, which I like. Yeah, it's a big. Vivo Plus would like to be my upgrade currently if I upgrade. What do they charge you though? Do they have a stupid subscription fee like we're talking about the MLM2 Pro? The fact that you have to pay $200 a year to even be able to use it. Does Mevo have anything like that? So like if you were to integrate with GS Pro, do you have to pay like $200 to them and then $250 to GS Pro? In a perfect world, again, overhead unit, the Pro TV looks really nice. Just super expensive. Yeah, I agree with that. Overhead unit seems pretty awesome if you have the kind of setup for it. That or Unicore too. I'd have to look into that. I mean, the newer units that are coming out, like that square one, that's oddly rectangular. But anyways, what it's called is the square unit. They're all coming out with no subscription fees. So eventually, the Mevo, or not the Mevo, the Rapsodo MLMs of the world, they're going to eventually have to compete and either drop their subscription or substantially lower it. Otherwise, people are just going to take their lunch and they're going to be selling a lot less units than what they're used to. But that's why competition is a good thing. Should produce better and better units at better and better prices. You want companies producing the best that they can to compete for your business. Square has a use fee? No, that's just from what I've seen. That's only for you have to buy like the credits if you want to play their courses, but there's no paywall or anything. I don't think it's officially supported with GS Pro, but I'm sure someone will make one of those third-party connectors. But it's my understanding that the payments for the Square thing is only if you buy the credits and you play their like in-house native software for the sim rounds. SkyTrack doesn't have a subscription to use in range, but if you want to use third-party software, I think it's 120 a year. New package SkyTrack courses are like 340 a year. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, that just starts to get too crazy. Like, I feel like 250 a year for GS Pro, for how good it is and how much I use it, I can justify that. But then you start tacking on $100, $200, $300 on top of that just to the unit to be able to use GS Pro. you're getting up towards $500-600 a year to play sim golf on top of a really expensive unit. Courses are real courses like SkyTrack, the new sim software. I have a feeling if Garmin actually does come out with a new unit, they're still going to have all the 42,000 or whatever they have courses, what Home T Hero usually or currently has, because they basically just repurpose all their GPS watch data, from what I understand. But I can foresee an upgraded unit and a big upgrade to Home T Hero, so like I'm thinking they're gonna overhaul that entire thing too, and make it look kind of like a GS Pro Lite. But we'll see. We got furniture flying out of buildings here for these storm chasers, apparently. Flying off of balconies. Downtown Sarasota. Sunken sailboat in the marina. Or partially sunken. Hopefully that's not Lieutenant Dan. Might as well go buy a local country pass for like $500 and play your local county courses unlimited for real life for that price. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it would make a little more sense if I had an indoor setup where I could play it literally year round, night or day, rain or shine. But even that's still, you're adding on the extra money to set all that up. And yeah, I mean, at a certain point, it doesn't become cost effective to start spending all that money to be able to play simulator golf. We don't have any of those local county passes, but that sounds pretty sweet for $500. That sounds like a good deal. The only thing that I can think of around here is like there's a radio station that does they sell like punch cards. I want to say they're like 150, $200, and there's like, I don't know, 8 to 10 courses on there maybe, and you get the round for free, but you got to pay for the cart. But there's no kind of like, at least that I know of, any kind of like county-wide deals where you can play multiple courses for that cheap. I think the county pass where I live is 400, and I think there's 4 courses you can play unlimited. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Even if the courses aren't even that nice, and even if they're only 9-hole courses, that's still a great deal. I could easily spend $100 per course. That's like, I mean, it depends how much the courses are, but 2, 3, 4 rounds maybe, and you pay for itself if you play each course that many times. There was someone in here in another live stream. They said where they live, there's a free. It's not very nice, but there's a free local course that a philanthropist, when he died, he put it as part of like his estate or his will, that he set aside the money to have the golf course remain free and open, and set aside the money for people to be able to play it and maintain it, which is pretty sweet. I've never heard of that before. Black Cloud, do you putt with your SkyTrack or no? I've never putt. I don't think I've ever putted on a simulator. I'm sure there's a pretty big adjustment period and learning curve to try to figure out what it feels like to hit like a 20-foot breaking putt on a simulator. I think I spent close to $1,000 this year just playing golf all over Western New York. I'm a bozo. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of purposely don't add up how much I spend on golf for that reason. At the end of the day, there could be a lot worse things that you could be doing and spending money on. So as long as you're not like going into debt to play golf, I wouldn't worry about it too much. At least I don't. And that's not including golf balls. Yeah, I get that. That's probably just the greens fees. I'm back. What's up, Patrick? Still putting. Still watching these Hurricane Milton live streamers. Tried this putting on SkyTrack, but I don't like it because it isn't the same as real life. And that was E6. I like practice my putting on a putt out in my living room. Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on the simulator putting. Some people like it because obviously it turns it into more of a complete experience, but some people, even though their unit is capable of tracking their putts, I know some people just use the auto putt like I do for the R10 and GS Pro. The grand might only be 10 rounds. Yeah, it depends. Depends where you're playing. It's a good point. I mean, there's some courses around here that are like $150 a round, so that can add up quick if you're playing those type of courses. But I would say 95% of the time I walk, which is cheaper, and I like it better, and it's good exercise, so save some money there. He said New York. Speaking of the hurricane live streams, I saw people taking pictures near ocean as waves were crashing into them. What idiots. Yeah, there were people on the southernmost point like taking pictures as the waves were crashing. I don't know if that's what you were seeing in Key West. Gotta get their photos up for the gram. Yeah, it's dumb. Can't fix stupid. How much is 18 in a cart? Sup, dude? Can you do a kickflip? No, I cannot. What are you asking, Mark? How much is the average 18 with a cart around here for the courses that I play? What are you asking, Black Cloud? Oh, Mark, I think the most expensive course I play here, like $70 a round. It doesn't break the bank much. Northern, yeah. I mean, the courses that I play, which I try to play somewhat nicer ones. Obviously, I have some courses around here that are not as nice, and obviously they're cheaper. But the courses that I play, obviously different prices for the week and the weekend. But say a Saturday morning round is probably in the neighborhood of about $45, $50 to walk 18, and then they usually charge $10 or $15 per side for the cart. So you're looking in the neighborhood of about, I don't know, 60 to $80 for morning weekend tea time for 18 in a cart for like a pretty decent course. Northern Wisconsin's $35. Yeah, it's not that cheap. So we're like double that, which is why I don't get a cart. Again, I like walking better anyways, and I have one of those electric push carts I walk behind, but I'm outside looking for my putter in the pitch dark. Good luck with that. During the week for 18, usually closer to like 40, 45. Twilight golf, you can maybe get down towards like 30, but it's pretty average to where like 20 to $30 to walk 9 holes. And then they usually give you a little bit of a discount if you play the 18 versus 9. I've walked enough in my life. I mean, I get it. When I go down to Florida, I take the cart. That's really one of the only places that I go and I actually ride for 18, which is really nice. But I feel like I get a better feel for like my shots. Obviously, it's not quite as easy to find the ball when if you're a little bit wayward, you can kind of zip up there and look around in the cart. But if you're kind of keeping in play and you're walking, you kind of get a feel for the course a little bit better. This is my first year playing golf. How's it going, Travis Prod? How you playing? Played good rounds when I was young walking. Walking golfers live longer than golfers who drive carts. A study I saw on Golf Digest. I walk all the time. I mean, it makes sense. You're essentially doing a mini hike for 18 holes on top of all the swings. But Mark, I think he said was in his 70s, so I don't blame him for getting a cart. My uncle's 75. Is pretty impressive. He still walks a lot with me when we play. I hooked him up though with one of those electric carts that I have, so he likes that. We both have somewhat matching carts, and we kind of just walk behind him versus lugging around all your clubs and all the water and everything inside the bag. How much was your powered cart? I got it on Facebook Marketplace, so I think I paid like $100 for it maybe, and then I had to buy new lithium batteries, which were expensive. But all in all, I think it was about, call it $100 for the cart, and then I don't know, I think it was like around 200 for the batteries, so call it 300. But even that, it's still a lot cheaper than some of the new carts that are out now that cost like $1,500. You should just look Bogeyman Bill in your area. I have it's called a kangaroo cart. It's awesome. It's older. The thing's like 20 years old, but it's literally all steel. It's built like a tank. But I just look up on Facebook Marketplace, like I either type in kangaroo golf or sometimes I type in like motorized golf or electric golf. You'd be surprised sometimes people that have had those carts, they just want to get rid of them. And a lot of them either used to have or currently have lead acid batteries, which are way heavier and not nearly as efficient as lithium because you can only use like half of the rated the amperage hours. So if you can find a cart that has kind of like a universal, somewhat like of an adapter to get a different style of battery, and you buy a new lithium battery on Amazon, you're back in business. I feel like when I walk, my mind is more at ease, like a Zen state. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to go as far as Zen, especially if I shank one in the woods, but yeah, that's how I feel too. You feel a little bit more, I don't know, into the round, if that makes sense, versus zipping around in a cart. I'm in high school, so me and my buddies did it for fun. I made the team, but I haven't made a match per se. But my iron plays at Chevy. That's awesome. Keep playing, and you keep getting better. Remember I walked 5 miles a day when I would cut grass? Ow, 3 wheels. I walk and play 9 holes, all that's offered around me. The coach will ride in a golf car and cuss you out if he catches if he catches you like up to you. Think a little. Wow, that was awful grammar on my part. If he catches up to you while playing, yeah, I kind of got that. The chat's kind of small on my end over here too that I'm reading, so I'm like trying to like get close to it and like squint my eyes to read it on top of like trying to figure out who's saying what and possible like typos in there. Powered cart though, if you guys can find one locally, and like I said, add a new lithium battery to it. Definitely a game changer for golf if you walk a lot. Just don't be scooping up all the good deals if you're in my area. I did Bogeyman Bill. If you want to see it, if you go on my channel and just look up what's in the bag, I had the cart in one of the videos. I don't know if I may have only ever done one what's in the bag, but it's in that video. It has a seat on it. It's pretty cool. I started to do speed training with those speed sticks almost 2 weeks ago. I've gained like 5 miles an hour already. That's awesome. What do you usually swing driver at? I have one of those things and I should use it more, but I feel like I get into periods where I do it consistently for like a couple weeks and then I don't touch it for like 3 months on end. It has like the three. It's probably similar to yours. It has mine. I know the what is it? Super Speed has the individual sticks. The one that I got was cheaper on Amazon. I think it was only like 20 or 30 bucks, and it has the weights. It has 3 weights that you just screw on or screw off from the top, so it's all one club. I just keep it in my bag. We were playing scramble. He messed up his pitching wedge. He got super pissed. It was so hard not to laugh. He was talking so much crap, but it's fun to talk trash. If I join the local course, they charge members for carts. Understandable, so I look to walk. Yeah, I mean, if you can find a deal. You sound like you enjoy a good budget-friendly deal like I do. Especially if you can find one of those kangaroo carts. Like I said, they're literally, I got one for my uncle too. They're literally built like tanks. They're full, like almost entirely steel. Hovering around 100, but now up to 105, 108. Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. So that's pretty good. Not that I'm exactly Bryson DeChambeau out here, but it's definitely above average for us amateurs. I still think my Garmin reads a little bit slow though. I also had a Jet shirt on, and he goes, "Jeff's effing suck," and then shanks a ball in the woods. Funniest thing ever. Yeah, I got the 3 sticks, green, blue, and red. The speeds are driver speeds. My irons are mid to high 80s. Yeah, I mean, I was saying the same thing with my driver, but I swing, I swing my irons, especially the longer ones, in the 90s. I gotta figure out though. I feel like I gotta mess around with my technique a little bit with driver. I feel like I definitely am strong enough and I swing hard enough to where I don't feel like I'm maximizing my club speed for how hard I'm swinging. The fact that I can swing like a 7.65 iron into like the high to mid 90 mile an hour range, I'm only swinging driver, not that much quicker. I feel like I gotta switch a few things around. Alright, man, have a good night. I'm gonna go smack some balls in the Garmin. I'm gonna sub, so maybe catch another stream. Appreciate it. Shout out to another fellow Garmin user. I smacked a lot of balls yesterday. I definitely hit the ball further on course than I do on my SkyTrack. I swear the club speed is off on my SkyTrack Plus. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to really tell. Plus, realistically, everyone kind of has a slightly different swing on course, whether you swing it quicker or um, whether you, I feel like I geared down on course, I think, not even trying to, but I feel like when you have trees left, trees right, you got water to go around, you got people in another fairway that you don't want to hit. I feel like I almost slow down and guide the ball a little bit more versus the simulator. I can swing a little bit freer. But if you're inside maybe, or someone that's in like a little bit more of a confined space than what I have, I know indoor swing syndrome is a real thing. You know, my dad picked one up not that long ago, and I just snacked them up in a little setup in the barn. That's sweet. So you have the Garmin R10 like us. Hurricane hits at 11, so I got 3 more hours. So you, by that time frame, you must be either pretty far south in Florida, or you must be kind of far north, like Central Florida somewhere. Because it's getting close to landfall right now, but it's going to take a couple hours to work its way inland. Hopefully you guys fare all right if you're close to that hurricane. I'm in South Florida, yeah. Yeah, they were telling people to either evacuate up towards the north or go pretty far south. I'm in Orlando, are you? That's where I fly into when I go there, when I go to Florida. You should be all right in Orlando. You're going to get a ton of rain, and depending on where this eye hits, it may kind of go over you, but at least you don't have to deal with the storm surge in Orlando. Along the coast is where you're in real trouble. Shouldn't be too bad, but the tornado's been hitting pretty damn hard. Yeah, I saw those earlier. There was like dozens of tornadoes that were pretty brutal. I'm in Okeechobee in the middle of nowhere. Again, I've been watching these live streamers most of the day, just kind of in the background, and these guys were following the tornadoes. Now they're covering the hurricane that's about to make landfall. Well, I'm gonna go do some sim golf myself. Good to catch up with you, brother. Stay safe. Appreciate it. Take it easy, Black Cloud. Hopefully, I'll see you again. I'm in North Carolina. T.O. Martin. How did you do with the last storm? I know North Carolina got hit real hard with the flooding from Helene. Stay safe, everyone. Peace out. We got hit by one. Yeah, that was Helene, right? Like a week and a half ago, whatever it was. It wasn't by me, 70 miles away from me. My grandma's wife sent her friends to go watch their home down there. Yeah. Hopefully they're being safe. You can replace a home, you can't replace someone's life. Hopefully by watch their home you mean going there after the fact, not currently there. They're not? Okay. That's good. Because there was a bunch of areas that literally had mandatory evacuations. A lot of lightning and my power shut off for a few. Yeah, I mean, there's about to be, with this storm, there's about to be millions of people without power in Florida over the next couple hours. Hundreds, if not thousands, or even tens of thousands of houses completely destroyed. I heard we was gonna have another one come to North Carolina. I mean, it is hurricane season. I don't think this will be the last one. I'm not as familiar though with North Carolina. I kind of just follow up here in the Northeast, and then I have family in Florida, so I kind of keep an eye on what's going on down there. My stays in Florida. Mom stays in Florida. Hopefully not near the coast. And if she does, hopefully she's in a hotel somewhere else. She's about 2 hours away from the coast. All right, so she's further enough. She didn't want to leave. I mean, 2 hours away, she could still get hit with some pretty strong winds and a lot of rain and some flooding, depending on where she is. But at least 2 hours away, that's far enough away to where this 10 to 15, even possibly 20 feet of storm surge isn't going to hit her. But I was talking about that earlier. There's parts of the storm that's going to have 15 feet of storm surge, meaning whatever the regular high tide level is along that coastline, it's going to be the high tide level plus 15 feet above that, and then on top of that you have massive waves from the storm crashing on top of that. So you could have 10 to 15 foot waves on top of the 15 feet of storm surge. So you're talking about water 30 feet above where it should be. I'm so hoard. You're hoarding or you're bored? Either way, you spelled both of them wrong. Thanks for the info, Hosel. Yeah, I mean, by no means am I a meteorologist or anything or an expert in this, but I've just been watching a lot of coverage, so kind of trying to, one, talk about just something that's going on, but two, if anyone possibly is curious about the information. But again, if you're anywhere near the coast of Florida, you should not be watching me hit putts. There's going to be parts of Florida they were saying that could get up to 2 feet worth of rain, which is crazy. Let's see. I'm watching Twister Chasers. Let's see what Reed Timmer's doing. That guy's a maniac. $2 feet, that's wild. Yeah, they're saying in some parts of Florida, uh, they're looking at close to 20, 22, 24, 26 inches of rain within a couple hour period. A pretty big section of Florida is going to get 5 to 10 inches of rain within a very short amount of time. Wow. Go check out Reed Timmer's stream. Literally, the water is flooded up halfway from the street signs. This dude's a maniac. Wow. That golf kid? Wow, what? This is crazy. Like I said, usually I don't tell people to go leave and put something else on, but maybe if you have like another phone or another computer or a TV or something, but just type in Reed Timmer, REEDTIMMER. I'll put up the guys who are watching on my PC and keep watching on this phone. Yeah, good plan. Do they have live coverage in Florida? Yeah, all these storm chasers are down in Florida. They literally drive into the eye of the hurricane and they live stream it as it makes landfall. Like Reed Timmer right now, literally his car, like he keeps slowly backing up. He's an actual meteorologist. Like has like his doctorate degree, so he's technically a doctor. So he knows what he's doing. But yeah, he's literally like inside the hurricane right now, or about to be. It hasn't quite hit yet, I don't think. That's crazy how Florida gets hit by a huge hurricane and right after another bigger one makes no sense. I know. Tough couple weeks for Florida. It's getting wild, it is. I know. I see. I put it on my TV. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mason? Yeah, I mean, if you type in anything like even if you just type in Hurricane Milton and you just click you like filter by live streams, there's probably like 20 people that are live right now. But Reed Timmer's a good one. He has one of those it's like a backpack that has basically a basically a SIM card or a chip for all the different carriers. So he has like AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, uh, like all the different ones. So if he loses coverage, it literally just bounces around. So he's able to stay live the entire time. But that's kind of what you can do when you have over 1 million subscribers. I mean, there's a right now on Reed Timmers, there's 126,000 people watching him live stream. Wow, the winds are picking up. And they have a couple other people too. They bounce back and forth. Geez, that flood. I know. You're seeing this? It's crazy. How's it going? Good. We're just rolling putts, keeping an eye on this hurricane. It's active right now. It looks wild. I know it's crazy. People are really risking their lives to keep people updated on the hurricane. That's crazy. I mean, he kind of like there's other people that really shouldn't be out there that are just doing it for like the views and clicks. But this is what Reed does. He's an extreme storm chaser, and he's literally a doctor. He has like his doctorate in like meteorology or whatever the degree is. But he's like an actual professional doing this. But yeah, nonetheless, it's still crazy. He's just parked in his car. I know it seems like it. I think he keeps slowly. I mean, I've watched a bunch of his live streams, but he keeps slowly backing up. And if he really thinks stuff, see, he's backing up right now. I mean, that was the middle of a street, though. Did you see how flooded that was? The water was up to halfway from the street sign. He must be famous. He's got a $50 donation. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest, one of these like extreme storm chasers. Definitely makes a lot of money on YouTube, but he does do pretty awesome streams. What kind of putting mat is that? I want to buy one ASAP. What I should do is post the link. Because people keep asking that. I should just like pin a comment. Maybe I'll do that in the future, but this one's called it's called PGM. So like Peter, Gary, Michael. Sorry, first time viewer. No, it's all good, but people were asking before and they were asking I got this. It's if you type in PGM like automatic ball return mat, you'll see this. I think I looked last night because people were asking. The price was 45.99, and I got this. I got it like maybe 2 months ago, and I got it for 29.99. There must have been a like a limited time deal, but that's the one I have. There's a bunch though on Amazon. You could probably get one a little bit cheaper. Jeez, you guys looking at this? Look at the water at this place. I don't know if that's a hotel or something. Look how far the water up is up. That's what I'm talking about, this storm surge. That's at least 5, 6 feet of water just on the road in front of this building. You seem cool guy. Got my subscription from Wisconsin. Appreciate it. Golf Geek. That's a good name too. We're just rolling some putts, answering any questions about golf, talking about the hurricane. I do a lot of simulator stuff though, so if you're curious about that, you can check out some of my other live streams or just the videos I post. I have a backyard simulator that I play full 18-hole rounds on. And I probably have like 30 videos from the on-course rounds I've done, so those are up there too. I'm still watching Reed Timmer, but if I switch over, I'll let you guys know which one I switch over to if you want to watch along. These flood levels though are crazy right now on these streams on Reeds. Whoa, look at the wind whipping in the background. He's zooming in on it. That's like a mini tornado. Oh yeah, how much is the simulators? Sounds badass. I'll be checking them out. Appreciate it. Depends what you want to do. The launch monitor I have is the Garmin Approach R10. That was $599, so like $600. And then I have GS Pro for the simulator software, which costs $250 a year to be able to use it, and you need a really high-powered either gaming PC or gaming laptop to run it. So the one that I bought in April was a pretty good one. It was like $1,400. So that's $2,000 right there, and then you got to buy the mat and the nets. So all in all, about call it $2,500 and $250 every year to be able to use GS Pro. That fence thing is moving in the flood. Reed sounds like he's having the time of his life. Yeah, he literally does this for a living, and this is literally like what his entire life is based around. I mean, it takes a special kind of person to literally drive into the eye of the hurricane. Look how far that water's up, though. And obviously, it looks like his car's in the middle of it, but he keeps slowly backing up. So obviously, his car is not completely underwater, but he gets as close as he can to film it, which is crazy. And by the way, he posted it on his Instagram. He's in like a kind of crappy, like older used Subaru. So he's not like he's exactly in some like state of the art, really like big truck or anything. He's in a Subaru doing this. What are you watching and where? Reed Timmer. ReedTimmer. He's live streaming the hurricane on YouTube. And they have a couple people that work with him, so they bounce around based on anyone seeing crazy stuff. How's his car still working? Reed Timmer, yeah, there you go. T.O. Martin. If nothing else, if you don't care much about my putting or my golf setup or my golf game, at least you guys now know about Reed Timmer, so you can watch him in the future with some more tornadoes. He chases all the tornadoes and he chases all these big storms and stuff. You can at least tune into him in the future. One of the trees fell down on the road. Yeah, I mean, there's been some of these live streams I've watched where you literally they film and I've been watching live where literally like the roofs get torn off of these buildings. So you may see something like that. Like depending on where they're able to go and which roads get completely flooded out and whatnot, you'll see like houses literally houses floating down the street or like roofs being ripped off a building. Like, look at the wind on this in this guy's car. I was watching Twister Chasers earlier. The guy's name is Jeff, and there were trees falling on the power lines and causing explosions. I appreciate anyone like Patrick or Tio that has it up on a different screen, but I wouldn't blame you guys if you left here and just watched that. They're getting into pretty close to complete what they call whiteout conditions, where you literally can't see anything. Can't even see 6 feet through your vision. Yeah, they call them whiteout conditions. And that's what I was saying before. They call them missile projectiles. So anything that gets loose, like a sign, a door, anything, street light, possibly as big as like a, I don't know, small car, anything that gets tossed in these winds, they literally go flying through the air at like 100 miles an hour. I watched Tristan Chaser years ago. I think it was on A&E or Spike TV. I think he may have been involved in that. I was looking at his Twitter earlier, and he had like a picture of there was a movie called Twister Chaser, I think, or something like that, like a few years ago. I don't know if he was involved in the TV show or not. I know Reed had a TV show too. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I know too much about these guys from watching them on all these different storms. I've been watching these guys for a couple of years. The satellite is going crazy. Some of these guys too. I know Reed has that backpack, like I was saying, with all the different like SIM cards from all the different cell phone carriers. But I know Jeff, Twister Chaser on YouTube, he uses Starlink, which is pretty cool. But you guys will see. So on the bottom of at least Reed's, it says eye wall 1 of 2. This is the strongest wind. But you'll see once the eye wall goes directly over them, so like the eye of the storm gets directly over these guys, which is what they're trying to do, all the wind and all the rain will stop and it'll seem like it's over. And then they get hit with the whole backside of it. So this is only like half of the storm. But not only are they going to the eye of the hurricane, they're trying to go to the the southeast side of it because that's where the winds are the strongest. So they're not only going to the most dangerous part, they're going to the most dangerous part of the most dangerous part. Imagine if this street that they're filming, imagine your house is on this street. Or if you decided to, that's what I was saying with all these evacuations. If you decided to stay and ride the storm out, you're not, if stuff really starts to hit the fan, there's no way you can get out. And you look at how much it's raining here, you get an idea how some parts of Florida can get up to 2 feet of rain because of this. Reed snacking on his pistachio. He's going to be good. What's the gray spots on the satellite monitor? Take care. May bounce back later. See you, Boogeyman Bill. Tune into some of this hurricane coverage if you're not. What's the gray spots on the satellite monitor? Usually, it's tough to tell. Again, I'm no meteorologist, but I think that gray section is the eye of the hurricane. Once it hits land, it gets weaker and it kind of breaks apart. The strongest storms have a really small and concentrated eye of the hurricane. So if that's what you're seeing, that little white spot, that could be the eye of the hurricane. And then the really really strong winds are obviously the yellow and the red. But the eye wall means either one side of the storm or the other. A cool website you could check out, which has like a live interactive map, is windy.com, windy.com, and it'll show you. I've been checking that out. Nice shot. I've been checking that out as this hurricane has been approaching, so it'll show you exactly where it is and how like the wind's spinning. It's pretty cool. This is a 1 in 100 year storm for this area of Florida. You guys hear that grandma comment that they just read out? Ooh, Reed's about to put the drone up in the storm. Seems like we don't have any of some of the people that were in here in the past, but sometimes they count how many I make. Obviously, I just missed that one as soon as I say it, but I feel like I rattled off a bunch in a row right there. Confirmed landfall, according to those guys. So he was saying north side of the eye wall. He must be northeast side of the eye wall. Maybe I misspoke before, and I said the strongest part was southeast, but it must be northeast for the wind, and then the storm surge is the worst southeast. But I was close. Reed's the one. He's got the drone in the top left. That that's getting up there on that stop sign. Give me a quick second, guys. I'm going to grab a water. I'll be back in like 20 seconds. All right, I'm back. What'd I miss? You know, my buddies texting me these different streams. Chat kind of died down. Everyone must be tuning in and watching what Reed's got going on. Those streets are pretty flooded. Wow. Wow, the streets, yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? Also crazy that there's 123,000 people watching him right now. That's a lot. 127. I think that's two. Obviously, that's pretty bad, but I think there's still a lot of storm surge left that's going to still come in. I think that's going to get a lot worse. So they're going to have to keep moving further and further inland. It says in the eye. Yeah, so if you guys watch, um, pretty soon, once they get directly in the middle of the eye wall or the eye of the hurricane, um, the wind will kind of slow down. It won't be raining as much, and it kind of clears up for a second, and then they get hit with the whole backside of the hurricane as it continues to move over them. I told you guys, though, I wasn't lying. They literally drive into the eye of the storm. There's even tree branches on the highway. Yeah, I mean, that's the least of their worries. You watch enough of these streams over the next few storms, you'll see some pretty crazy stuff happen. And they go anywhere too. Like, they're not just in Florida. So, like, if this was in Texas, they'd all be in Texas right now. So this lady just said they're at like 2 feet of storm surge, and this area that they're in is supposed to get up to 8. So it's gonna get 4 times worse. Where's it supposed to be the worst at in Florida? Um, Look at that. I mean, you can look at the map. Like just south of Tampa, in like the Sarasota area. They're in Venice right now, which wherever the eye actually hits directly, I don't know if it's there yet or not. They don't have it zoomed in enough, but wherever it hits, slightly south of that on the coast is going to be the biggest areas of the storm surge because the storm is rotating uh, counterclockwise. So everything kind of spits up from like underneath and towards the right. But yeah, pretty much wherever they are, Venice, Florida, right in that area, like Bradenton's in there. Um, there's going to be a lot of destruction in those areas. Yeah, you just said south of where he is would be a little more significant. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but this storm got up to for a while a Category 5, and then as it's come closer, it worked its way up to a Category 5, and now it's been weakening. It went down to a Category 4, and then I think it made landfall to Category 3. But even though it's a Category 3 at landfall with like the wind speeds and whatnot, it has a Category 5 and a Category 4 worth of storm surge behind it. So way worse than your average Category 3. Flood levels are getting way higher. Yeah, well, I mean, according to what that lady just said, I think she's also a meteorologist, which is why they have her in there. But what she just said is their sensors that they have deployed around there, they were kind of unofficially reading at like 2 foot and change. And Reed was kind of saying that before too in storm surge. And she said in this particular area, they're expecting 8. So it's going to go from this at like 2 or 3 all the way up to 8. So it's going to get at least twice as bad as this. And I mean, it's worth noting these guys are obviously they're right on the edge. They're trying to push the limit, so they're right on the edge of where it's actually safe to drive. Further towards the coast, like the first road along the coast, I'm sure like obviously they just couldn't drive there, so they're not able to show it, but I don't know how tall that dude is that's walking around, but I mean that's probably about right. That looks about 2 to 3 feet of water from where he's walking. I'm scared of like 40-mile-an-hour winds. I can't imagine being in that. I know it's crazy. Oddly, I'm kind of like used to it. Not that I've done what these guys have done, but I've watched so many of these streams where I've seen it been like really, really, really severe. This is definitely not good by any means, but it's not like the one Helene a couple weeks ago, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That was a stronger one, but the storm surge wasn't nearly as bad. So this is going to be way more of like a flooding versus that other one was faster winds and more destructive winds. At least that's what I understand. Jeez. So Reed just said it too. It's about 2.5 and it's supposed to go up to 8. Dude's a maniac. It's almost covering the fire hydrant. And he's standing in. It's like it's nothing. I mean, again, these guys are meteorologists. Like they act like these guys basically do this for a living, so they do know what they're doing. It's not like your average Joe that's just like running around there live streaming and has never done it before. But nonetheless, still pretty crazy. Jeez, look at the wind in the top right. Oh, so I think that guy that was walking around, he was out there deploying sensors, storm surge sensors. He wasn't just like walking around. Yeah, I know, right? Cameras are staticking like crazy. I mean, just think about though, like, it still kind of blows my mind, but just think about the fact that we're literally watching people in a hurricane live streaming. Like the fact that like all of the internet isn't already all the way out is impressive, and the fact that like we're basically watching this in like HD quality as if we were like in the car. Again, anyone curious what we're talking about? We're watching Reed Timmer, who's live streaming. I will say, I was kind of dogging on the 6 ball thing earlier, but besides that, like a little bit in the beginning, they haven't really been getting stuck. Geez, you guys hear that? So they said if the water level gets up to like the dunes height, they're gonna have a tsunami type wave and storm surge coming through. Where are they in Florida? It says at the bottom. So it says current, they're in Venice, Florida right now. If you look it up on like Google Maps, see at the bottom in the white, it says they're in Venice, Florida, target inside the eye, which is somewhat not precise because the storm is constantly, as it's making landfall and hitting stuff, it's constantly moving. So they're constantly moving too. They're chasing it and they're looking at the same radar that we're seeing on the screen. They're trying to drive and pinpoint themselves to exactly where it's going. So I mean, it's one thing to like drive near the area, and if the eye wall hits you, it hits you, and like you kind of hope it does, and kind of hope it doesn't. If they were streaming it, but they're literally actively driving to the worst possible spot. If you look at Venice, though, it's along the coast, just south of Tampa. AP is like tsunami, and that's only where they were. When I was watching, I was watching WFLA, um, they're the news channel out of Tampa. I was watching that coverage earlier, and they were saying there's spots that will see 10 to 15 feet. So again, like I was saying, they're in spots, at least what they're saying for the 8 feet where they are. They're in spots that they can still actually drive out of if they need to. They could be like a couple streets over, so like a couple streets over could be possibly up towards 10 to 15 feet, which they were saying could be the worst of it. You can even swim in 8 feet. Yeah, I don't know if you meant you can't even swim in 8 feet, which is true, or you can even swim in 8 feet, which is also true. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, like a lot of houses have 8-foot ceilings. That means if you're standing, that the water's up to the ceiling in the first floor. You guys see the difference though between like these three streamers? Like Reed is the top left. He's literally like in the flood. Uh, Chasing with Connor in the top right. I know his coverage is breaking up, and I think he's driving to like reposition to in the storm. And then you got the other guy, Chris Hall, which I don't blame him, but I think he was in like a storage or a like a parking garage. But Reed really gets in there. What's up, Vintry Boo? Be you? What's that trophy emoji all about? Just because you're so good at putting? I don't know about that. I'm back, didn't do so well in pin seeking tonight. Only second place in one event. Is pin seeking, is that like a Skytrack thing, or is we were talking about, you remember back in the day, or I don't know if you possibly meant that, the pin seeker app with E6. I remember like a year ago, people were starting to do that. You could like bet on the closest to the pin thing. We were just talking about that like 2 days ago. I was wondering if it's still a thing or not. Yeah, that's it. Oh, really? So they're still doing it? I remember I tried to do it and I couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it to work. I tried like 3 different times to get it to work, and it just would not work with my E6. So I just gave up on it. But I always wondered with that. I don't know if you can differentiate of who you're playing against for like the closest to the pin. So if like you're only playing against R10 users, but if you think like I've been thinking about if you factor in the people that use like a super high end, say I'm sure there's some people in there that use like a TrackMan or a GC quad, and they're literally have to be pinpoint accurate to put it next to the pin, and then you got people like me that's using a Garmin R10, which has a little bit more wiggle room to say the least. I don't know if that's exactly fair. They incorporated that with SkyTrack now. Just run the SkyTrack program, 700 login is E6. That's pretty sweet. I didn't know that. It worked for me when I had my R10. What do you mean when you say category 5? That's how they rate the strength of the hurricanes. So the categories go like tropical storm, and then category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4, and category 5. Category 5 being the biggest, most intense, strongest winds that the storm can be. And then category first, a little bit weaker, or category fourth, a little bit weaker, category third or 3, a little bit weaker. You get the point. Oh, there's people who play for money that are pros. Not sure about PGA pros, but they're definitely always on the top of the leaderboards. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That was another reason why. I mean, I'd just be getting smoked by like people that are plus handicaps that are putting it within like a couple inches. But I was just wondering about like I know the R10 sometimes like you can get some pretty big variances and some misreads. So I was wondering if like the R10 kind of nerfs some of the accuracy a little bit compared to like a TrackMan or a GC quad. So they're actually having to put it within like a couple inches or whatever it wins, and then we could possibly hit a slightly bad one with the R10. And I'm saying you could get lucky and have it register as like a decent shot. Big putting dog. Uh oh, Bud Dreads is back. I just play the free shots. Oh, all right. I didn't know if you were putting big money on it or anything. I'm just saying, I'd be kind of pissed if I had a GC quad and I know it's like tour level accurate, basically the gold standard, and I'm putting it pretty close to the pin, and then you got someone with an R10 who maybe like mishit it, and Garmin didn't quite pick up on the shot, and he puts it, happens, just gets a lucky read, and it goes like an inch from the hole. Especially if you're playing for money. Putting like a big dog? Trying to. What's up, sucks? Will say I noticed the SkyTrack is much more dialed in the R10 and PinSeeker app. So I feel I'm more accurate now. Yeah, I definitely believe that. I mean, by all accounts, the SkyTrack, when they do like the comparisons to like GC Quad or TrackMan, SkyTrack is definitely a lot closer than the R10 is. But you're also talking about what, 2,000, 2,500 bucks as opposed to 600. So I feel like sometimes the Garmin gets a bad rap because you're trying to compare a $600 unit to like a $20,000 unit. But I'll play anybody for money in Arizona, anytime, any track. I don't know if there's anyone else in Arizona in here. Better be careful. You could run into some like crypto billionaire and takes you up on that for like $100,000 match. One thing I wish SkyTrack Plus had angle of attack. I think the R10 had angle of attack, so it's odd that the SkyTrack one. Really, the SkyTrack doesn't have that? I mean, the Garmin has it, but there's a difference between the Garmin having it, which is estimated, versus the SkyTrack having it and they actually measure it. So, I mean, I know you probably haven't used it in a while, but if you remember, the R10, it only actually measures or like actually reads 4 different things. All it does is it measures club speed, ball speed, launch angle, and launch direction. So like up and down and left and right. And then everything else, every other metric that you get, all like the club data, the swing data, angle of attack, all that stuff, um, that's all just like estimated in their algorithm. I think it's usually relatively accurate, at least within the ballpark of it. Like it does show if I really hit down on a ball, it shows it. If I really hit up on it, it shows it. But it's all just kind of estimated in their algorithm. I play 4 and up to 250 a side. Butt dreads out here playing $500 matches. Yeah, SkyTrack has no angle of attack, sadly. Does it have? Obviously, it has the ball data. They all have ball data, but does it have the club data? So does it give you like the face angle, your club path? I don't know how. I'm sure it looks a little bit different here on Reed Timmer's stream. Sure, it looks a little bit different as we're looking at night as someone's live streaming them driving. But I don't know how they can even see there to drive a car in this stuff. Yeah, club path angle, club head speed. Yeah, I mean that's the main ones. So that's pretty good then. They're pretty expensive though, right? Aren't they like? What'd you say you have the SkyTrack Plus? So I think that's the. I don't know that much about SkyTrack, but I know they have like the 2 different units. So I'm assuming that's the newer one that I think has like more like white plastic on it. I want to say, but aren't those like $2,500? Face to path, face to target. Yeah, those are the face to path and face to target. Those are just based on the ones you said before, so that makes sense that they just put them together. Yeah, plus it's just under $3,000. I got it was on sale for 2,800. You think it's 2,800 well spent, or you wish that you kind of got something else? I know you said the Mevo Plus just for the lefties, but because obviously like 2,800, it's not. We're not talking about like crazy amount of money, but it's also 2,800. That's a big jump from 600 from the R10. Maybe we would have got the Mevo Plus, but I was sick of having the unit sit behind me 6 feet. The Skytrack just sits next to me. So I have people over there knocking it over. How they did the R10. Yeah, I've had a couple people kind of like stumble into the R10. No one's actually like stepped on it, but I used to when I first got it, when it was like shiny and brand new. I used to put like a plastic Tupperware container on it if there was like really unexperienced people or like younger kids around, just so if they did step on it, they would likely crush the like plastic Tupperware container first. But as I kind of used it more, I kind of got rid of that. But I guess they designed those units obviously for a reason to where even if you really, really shank one off the hosel, I guess it can't get like directly in front of you. But I feel like if someone was really, really bad, you could almost they would figure out a way to make contact with a unit kind of close to you. Yo, yo, you're live. What's up? What's up, Mini Plus Shorts? Welcome back. Plus, in the colder months, the R10 will struggle with readings, where the Skytrack doesn't. Having a heater in the garage doesn't interfere with the unit. Do you mean the the struggle because of the interference, or struggle just because of the cold weather? Because yeah, I've heard a bunch of people with like in garages and stuff, they got to do what do they call them, like Faraday cages or whatever, with like tin foil around like ACs, heaters, those kind of things. Because as far as the weather, I feel like my R10 works the same whether it's 100 degrees outside or I've been literally out there in the snow when it's been like 20 degrees. I think the it reads just the same. Not that you were saying that, but I think it reads the same. Both, really? I've never had any issues, noticeable issues. It's just me if I'm out in 20 degrees with snow on the ground, I'm just not swinging it the same as I would be when it's like 90 degrees out. But I haven't noticed anything weird from the R10. The only thing like that I have noticed is if I go out there right after it rained and like the mulch is all wet and the grass is all still wet, I do notice with the extra moisture and sometimes too when it's like hazy or foggy, the extra moisture in the air or on the ground, I get like twice as many no reads. So like you take a swing and it just doesn't register for some reason. The moisture, or at least in my setup, throws it off. I went to Florida for one day and got hit by a hurricane. You're not in Florida right now, are you? We're watching Reed Timmer. If you want to pull up like another phone or your computer or something or your TV, if you search Reed Timmer on YouTube, a couple of us are watching this live together. That's what I have on, and I have a headset listening to it. Reed's like in like 5 feet of storm surge right now. The roads just flooded out. I would struggle with the cold, and I turn on the heater and would throw off the Doppler. I'm in New York, so winters are much colder than where you are. Well, yes, they do. You do have worse winters, but I'm in New England, so it's still we like there was I get it. I'm not in like upstate New York or like I know it's like worse way up north, but it's not like I'm in Florida. We still do get some big storms and some really cold stretches. I did a couple videos last year when I still had Home T Hero. We'll see how my gaming laptop does out there in the snow. But last year when I was using Home T Hero, I had a couple rounds out there that I recorded, literally playing in the snow. Had to shovel my way out, kind of shovel off some of where I was hitting from. We get the cold from ocean. We get Nell from Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Blizzard's last 2 years were brutal. Yeah, I mean, no argument. You guys, your winters are definitely worse. I mean, like I remember like Buffalo Bill games when they get real bad, they literally have like fans come volunteer to like shovel out the stadium. There's so much snow. But we get some blizzards too. I'm in Florida, but I was able to get out in time. We evacuated since we knew it was gonna hit, but we're right on the outside of the storm, so we're safe. That's good. These live streams, if you still have internet, which apparently you do, look up Reed Timmer. Like I said, these guys are live streaming from the eye of the hurricane right now. He hats your opinion on spaghetti. I live in New York too. All you New Yorkers in here. This is New England Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins type of live stream. Oh, really? You would help him shovel the stadium, but it's all tax money. You have to work on the books. It's dumb. Huh. They should just let you shovel. If you volunteer to shovel for a couple hours, they should just give you a free ticket into the game, even if it's like standing room only. That should be the bargain. I've been to a couple snow games in Gillette. Honestly, being to a couple of those games in the snow, it kind of sucks. Obviously, it's fun and you're there, but ooh, street sign fell over in the stream. Did you say Celtics? I did. Because Celtics my favorite basketball team. Yeah, I'm from New England, so I like Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, New England Revolution. Doing a road trip from Florida up to Maryland, then New York City and Canada from New York City. We're going to go to the upcoming Bills game, then going back to Maryland. Really? That's sweet. Since my uncle is in the Naval Academy. That's awesome. As far as the snow games, though, I'd rather just watch it on my couch, nice and warm. You're sitting there in 20-degree weather with snow all around, bundled up in snow gear. But at least with like snowboarding or like shoveling or doing something active, you're moving around, so you're staying warm. In the stadium, you're just sitting there, just getting beat up by the cold. They used to give tickets to people who shoveled, but I stopped doing that because so many people showed up to shovel. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them if they had a crowd of 500 or a couple thousand people to show up, but they could just pick like 500 people to shovel and just give those 500 people tickets or whatever. But obviously, you can't give them like a seat in a low level on the 50-yard line because people are paying a lot of money for those. But they should open up like an extra little area, just have them, have them shovel it out while they're doing it, and just let them in as like standing room only. I get it though. It's just one big, massive business. I'm Irish, so that's why the Celtics are my favorite team. And I really like Brown and Tatum. Yeah, I mean, I was watching ESPN the other day, and they were saying, I don't know who was talking. I don't know if it was Stephen A. or if it was like another ex-player or whatever. But I kind of flipped by it, and they were saying that they still think the Celtics have the best starting five in the league. You're good at putting. Thanks, Hayden. Hayden Reeves. I'm trying to get good. No problem. It's always nice people just drop in here real quick just to say something nice. Sometimes you get the other people that come in here and just say some crazy stuff. It seems like you can read greens pretty good from what I've seen. I like to think I'm alright at it, but could be better. Just watch a little bit of Reed Timmers live, and dang, it's heavy out there. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Those guys are awesome. That's what I was saying. Usually I don't encourage people to go leave this live stream to go watch something else, but I think storm like this is an exception because that's a pretty awesome live stream to watch. So I don't know if it's just where they are, if they're only getting like 8 feet, or if the storm's possibly weakened more than they were expecting it to. But they were hyping up 10 to 15 feet of storm surge. Or maybe that's still coming. You're in the storm? No, I'm not in the storm. You still wear 2 gloves when you play golf in real life? Those black gloves always made me chuckle. I only wear 2 gloves when I speed train. Mother Nature really got something against Florida? Yeah, I know. Past couple weeks. But yeah, Black Cloud, I still wear the 2 gloves. Someone asked about that the other day, but the whole reason behind that was when I started playing the first year, I was lifting a lot and also taking a ton of shots. So I was getting really bad blisters on my hands. So I started wearing the 2 gloves to kind of give my hands just a little bit extra layer of protection. I kind of just stuck with it. But it is really nice when it's super hot out or it's a little bit wet. I don't really play much in the rain, but helps in the rain too. Or even just like in the summertime when it's really hot, I like lather up in sunscreen. And some people like that sunscreen stuck to their other hand that doesn't have the glove on it for like the entire round. Mine, I put like the sunscreen on and my hands always feel like they're obviously clean. And granted, I'm wearing a glove, which apparently people don't recommend because they say apparently I lose feel. But it's possible in the future I go from 2 gloves just to no gloves, and maybe that's what's holding me back. Thank God, I feel bad for the people in Florida. I know, me too. I'm not going to leave the stream, but I got to eat. All right. One time I got the driver on the green, first stroke on a par 4. Must have been a pretty good drive. What balls are you using? These are just a mix. They're mostly Titleists, but I have a TP5 American flag. I got a few Pro V1s. I think I have 3 or 4 Pro V1s, and this other Titleist is a Velocity, I think. But on course, my bag is just filled with kind of like this, just like a random, somewhat nicer balls that I found on the course. I don't buy balls just to play. We're gonna get some rest. Long day ahead of us. We're gonna go to South Carolina tomorrow and see the beaches. All right, rest up. Be safe in the storm. See you, man. I'm eating in here. What are you eating? I tried no gloves. I didn't have much control. I put 1 glove on my left hand again now. Macaroni? Changed my grip to jumbo size, and I do my own gripping, much cheaper to do. Yeah, what is this? This is me putting and watching the coverage from Hurricane Milton. I'm talking about golf. I've been curious about the jumbo grips, Black Cloud. I wear the 2 gloves, so it kind of reduces the need for me to have like a super new and nice like tacky grip. So I kind of just wear them or use them until they're really worn out. But I'm debating that may take a couple years for mine to wear out. But I've been intrigued by those jumbo grips. Some people, like I know, obviously Bryson uses them. Peter Finch, I know I saw, switched over to that like a year or two ago, and he swears by them. If I do it, I'll probably do it myself as well. I've never changed them, but I was looking into a little while ago the air compressor like attachment. So you cut off the old ones, and then if you use the air compressor with this tool that they make, you don't have to use any of the solvent or anything. You just blow them on pretty much with the air compressor. Have I seen KSI and his new song? No. You're so chill. Thanks. Oh, you should try them. I feel like I have more accuracy with them now. Won't ever go back to a small group at all. Bryson uses larger ones. I can't find them in store. Looks like this one dude that also lives in Florida. I like those LEDs. Thanks. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for like $5 on Amazon. Never seen your channel now, but I sub so I get notifications. Alright, cool. Appreciate it. If you mess around with larger grips, you might gain more control in yardage. You should try them out. Yeah, definitely intriguing. I've heard that with the control too. Seems like because the grips are larger, you take out some extra like hand and wrist movement. You don't, I guess you feel like you can control the face a little bit better. Which makes sense. There's a reason why, like even this one, I know it's not like a crazy big grip, but there's a reason why they make fatter grips for putters. Otherwise, they would be just super, super tiny like irons. I've gotten some like used clubs over the years, and I do like the was it Golf Pride, the CP2 wrap. I like the mid size and the jumbo size. Those are a little bit bigger than normal. What do you think about the Big Bertha? I don't know. I know it's older. It was a really popular driver. It was really good for its time. I don't know about now. I mean, if you like it, keep hitting it, but I want to go even larger and see if I can gain more stability and accuracy. I mean, Bryson's might even be custom grips, but if they're not, and you can like buy the same ones, I know you said you couldn't find them, but he's probably got one of the largest grips that they even make, I would assume. I use Golf Pride Jumbos. That's funny, actually, you mentioned Golf Pride. Yeah, I mean, those, I've had clubs, like I said, I've bought like some used clubs on like eBay and Second Swing, and some of them have come with those, the Golf Pride, the CP2. Those are my favorite grips that I've ever tried. So if I do regrip them, it'll probably be the jumbo version. And then I know you can like add extra layers of tape and whatnot to make them even thicker, but they'll probably be those CP2 jumbos. Unless I try something out at the store or whatever and like one better. This guy responds to every comment. I try to, as long as you don't say anything crazy. Mr. Short Game's video of him trying to jumbo. I feel like I may have watched that. That sounds familiar. I mean, I remember I looked into it like a year ago, and I probably watched one of those. Mr. Short Game usually does some pretty good stuff. No one does. I like YouTubers that actually talk. Well, lucky or unlucky for me, there's only like 40 people in here, so there's only a couple people talking, so I can manage it. But if there was like 1,000 people in here and this chat was going so fast, I wouldn't be reading as much. Tell me, at least went to sleep from yesterday, Ella. What's up, HRG? What's up, Graham? How was work the other night? I did go to sleep, but I didn't sleep very much. I am tired. Speaking of which, I was thinking, it's 9:40, so I'll probably call it quits at 10. I was thinking 9:45, but I was on here way too late last night. Yo, 2 streams under yours. They're getting the storm. I know I have another phone over here. I'm watching it. I'm watching Reed Timmer right now. I have it up on my phone in front of me, and I have one of my earbuds in listening to it. They're in the eye of the storm. That's why I named this Putting in Hurricane Milton. I'm exhausted heading into the office right now. You're a beast. There's another New Yorker now. There's like 4 New Yorkers in here. Prodigals, that's the channel. I don't know if I've heard of that one, but I'm sure there's probably like at least 20 people right now live streaming the storm. But Reed Timmer is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, that actually like goes to the storms. What's your take on the weather machine supposedly in Antarctica? You ever hear about it? The rabbit hole is a crazy one. No, I haven't heard about any of the specifics, so I haven't heard about any of that. But I have heard, really, because of these hurricanes over the past like 2 weeks, people saying that these are like man-made storms. Sounds pretty crazy to me, but I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I'm sure there's people that make convincing arguments, but looks like a pretty real storm to me. I feel storm chasers are the same size balls as crab fishermen do. Not for me. Yeah, I would agree with that. Must be obviously a massive adrenaline rush. Hope my Yankees pull through. I should go and update our clients on the storm right now once I get in. Yeah, the storm's looking pretty gnarly. I've been watching the coverage on this for the past like 2 days, and I know the MLB playoffs are going on and the Yankees in it. I don't really follow baseball. The only time I'll watch is if the Red Sox make it to the World Series. What's your favorite football team? New England Patriots. I'm in New England. Tom Brady once again. Knicks are in KC tonight. It was tied last I checked. Yeah, I don't have much to say about baseball, unfortunately. Sorry. Hopefully, at least it's a good game. If it's tied, it must be. Your Pats abused my Bills enough over the years. At least y'all have some chips. We don't have nada. Yeah, I know. We got spoiled for 20 years. I was live. I went live on Sunday, and I was watching the Patriots game, and I had Red Zone on too. But the entire Patriots game, I was actively rooting against them because I mean, it's going to be really fun. It's like breaking news that Drake May is going to start this week, but I'm actively rooting against the Pats this entire year because I want another like top 3 draft pick, and then I was hoping they sat Drake May for the entire year and then turn the offense over to him next year. But apparently Gerard Mayo is playing him. Hopefully he doesn't get killed behind that offensive line. Jacoby Brissett's been getting beat up every single game. I'm going to go get some rest. All right. Me too, pretty soon. I'm a Dolphins, but they kind of suck right now. That is never playing again. Brisket sucks. Maybe starting Sunday, no? Yeah, they just announced that, like, what was that, 2 days ago? This is the first time. Brissett does, I mean, he's just a career-long backup, but no matter if Drake May plays right now or not, they're not a playoff team, so I just want him to tank this entire year and then get another high draft pick and then kind of, like, start over from scratch. Like I was saying, we were spoiled for, like, 20 years, so a lot of fans' expectations are, like, Super Bowls or nothing, but you can't just go from one of the worst teams in the league to a Super Bowl. You got to kind of slowly build up to it. May's at the helm. You might have a small chance. I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if like it's either gonna be he's gonna win like every single game now going forward because it is still kind of early in the season, or if he's gonna go like 500 or worse, I'd rather have him just lose every game and then give him a really solid offensive lineman or like another weapon at receiver for a high draft pick. No, Brisket is awesome. Brissett sucks. Tua is never playing again. Sorry, I call him Brisket. Autocorrect. Yeah, I don't know about Tua. Tua's had a lot of those concussions. It's starting to get into the spot where he may actually retire, I think. Yeah, if Tua were smart, he shouldn't play anymore. There's a life after football. You can't be getting into mini car crashes multiple times a game every single Sunday. CTE is a real thing, so I know he's a good player and he's fun to watch, but That's why like those mobile quarterbacks, obviously they're really tough to stop, and when they can play, they're awesome. But longevity-wise, is the reason why Brady played so long and didn't get hit a ton. That said, though, Cam, he wasn't very good with the Pats, but Cam had a decently long career. Josh Allen's been playing a while. Mahomes doesn't scramble as much as he used to, but he's been playing. Lamar Jackson, I mean, a lot of guys. I know Drake May is more mobile too, but how far are you hitting from? Probably like 6.5, 7 feet. Josh Allen clearly had a concussion Sunday. I know, I saw that, but they allowed him to go back in. Now he has two brain. I mean, he may have had it already, but yeah, he definitely. I think it's a lot of times too, which seems like the one, at least from what I saw with the Josh Allen one. The hit's one thing, but really what actually does a concussion is when you bounce your head off the turf. That's what it seems like with the Josh Allen one. Josh Allen was asleep on the turf. I know that stuff's scary. I've been watching. Speaking of CT and all that stuff, I've been watching. It's not that great, but the FX is doing like a Aaron Hernandez series. The guy that's playing Aaron Hernandez and then the other characters look nothing like him, but they're at least kind of following the storyline. 3 broken ribs and 4 concussions. 2 is done. I think they gave him salts when they arrived to him. He woke up mad fast. I've never tried those smelling salts. I listened to Rogan though, and sometimes he passes those around when they're doing a podcast, and I can just tell by all the people's reactions. Those things are pretty strong. I mean, I've had like my bell rung and stuff before, but like I've never been like knocked out like that and then like got up and like continued to get hit. Like I remember even when I was in high school, they would tell you to like if you got a concussion, they would have you like they know way more now, but even back then they would tell you like, all right, like you can't do any like activities for like a week or two, like you got to stay in like dark rooms and like stuff like that. But even that is a pretty big difference between getting knocked out like Josh Allen and then going in on the next drive. Didn't they get a turnover really quick? So he kind of like didn't even have time. He was like walking over to the blue medical tent, but then they got a turnover, so he just went right back in. The acting that Aaron Hernandez shows is equivalent to a bad high school play. Have you seen it? It is pretty bad, but the fact that they're just covering Aaron Hernandez and the Patriots, I feel like I'm kind of obligated to watch it. But yeah, I mean the guy that plays him looks nothing like him, and it's pretty cheesy. But that wrestler Chris Benoit, I said it was word range along with CTE. Yeah, that was crazy. There's a lot of those crazy stories. I mean, Junior Seau, there's 25 people watching, but only 3 talking. Yeah, that kind of happens. I don't blame him. Sometimes you just want to scroll and watch. Yeah, he was back on the field ASAP due to a turnover. Maybe a quick 3 and out. Bad, it's horrendous. My point is, as bad as it is, and it could be even worse. I'm still gonna watch it because it's about Hernandez and the Patriots. But yeah, I don't think it's winning any like Emmy awards or anything. I can't stand the guy that plays Urban Meyer. For whatever reason, that guy just annoys me as an actor. Okay, warp time. Keep sinking those 6-footers. Talk soon. Take it easy. Like I said last night, have as much fun as you can possibly have at work. And for the record, I would be hitting longer putts when I go all the way back, but I don't quite have the space. I don't know if it's quite 12 feet, but there's definitely like some extra mat rolled up. I want to say this is probably like a 10, 11-foot mat. Of course, it's completely flat, and I'm hitting the same putt over and over again, but that's kind of the point. Close homie of mine was at Florida when I went with Team Tebow. He actually kicked out Cam Newton from Florida for stealing. Yeah, I mean that some of that, or a lot of that actually is all in that FX series about Aaron Hernandez, because Hernandez was there too. He was on that team. There was a scene in one of the episodes they just did where they basically like tried to show that. So there was like cops that came knocking on the door. They were like, there was a scene. They were like in the dorm room, and there were like cops or someone that came knocking on the door, and they had Cam Newton throw like a laptop out a window or something. Crazy the two different NFL careers that Cam Newton and Tim Tebow had. Golfing Crocs, I like it. I know. Last night we hit the big 1,000 on subscribers, so I tossed the Crocs into sport mode last night. All-terrain 4x4 mode for the Crocs was activated. I've said it before, but I've been debating buying one of those kits that you can screw golf spikes into like any shoes and turning a pair of my Crocs into golf shoes. Sad the NFL outs Tebow for praying. Yeah, some of that stuff is kind of wild. The NFL, if they were smart, should just be like every other business. Not that every other business does it, but they also should do it, and they should just stay completely out of politics, one side or the other, and just focus on selling the product that they're trying to sell versus dipping their toes into social issues one way or the other. You're going to piss off, no matter what you do and whatever stance you take, you're going to piss off half the country. Geez, this storm's getting wild on Reed Timmer. Are you going live tomorrow? Probably. I'm hoping I couldn't do it today, but I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be able to do a live stream outside playing on the simulator. But hopefully I can do that. If not, I may be in here. I hope I'll be able to watch. Me too. Hit the notification thing, so if I go live and it's at the time that you see it and you're able to watch, then you can tune in and say what's up. $2HS, what does that mean? HH? Yeah, political issues, stay away from sports. Every time I hear LeBum James speak about politics, I have a chuckle and a facepalm. Well, there was that classic quote, MJ back in the day asked like why he never talked about like politics or anything, and he said, wasn't it that famous quote saying that Republicans or Democrats, whatever he said, buy sneakers too? I think he said Republicans buy sneakers too. Watch, but with an extra H. Trump or Biden? I don't get political, or at least I try not to, but you can take a guess. I just got done saying people should stay out of politics, so not that I'm like a business by any means, but whether I say one or the other, I piss off half the people and the other people are happy. I guess Republicans wear Jordans too. They kill him for it. He hasn't spoke politics since. That was funny AF. Yeah, it's fair. He's voting for me. Yeah, I'm voting for Black Cloud. We're gonna get my own vote. Who is? I'm voting for the Black Cloud Party. I'm not left or right, red or blue. I'm Black Cloud. Who's working for you? Voting? HRG voting for me. He's writing me in. I'll turn this country around. Free simulators for everybody. Mandatory range sessions for all employees. I'll vote for you. Yeah, you can write in HRG. I hear you yawning. Go to bed. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to make it to 10 o'clock. We're getting close. Oh, it's 10:02. We are there. I said 10 o'clock. I'm getting tired. All right, folks. Just like that, another live stream in the books. It's been fun. Appreciate everyone that's stopping in. Now's a good time to hit the subscribe button before this live stream goes away. So if you want to subscribe and get notified if I go again. You must be tired. I am. One more. All right, one more for the road. There it is. Free Sims for everyone. Golf at every school for recess. Track commands in every gym. I'd vote for that. See? He's got good policies. All right. See you, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys in the next one.